Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mrs. Gallagher, and today we're going to learn how to multiply with scientific notation. So let's look at our directions. It says multiply 3 times 10 to the third power times 7 times 10 to the fifth power. And there's 5 steps we need to follow when multiplying scientific notation. So our first step, step 1, is to use the associative and commutative properties. So we want to use the associative and the commutative properties. Let's refresh what that means. Associative means you want to group like terms together. So associative means we're going to group our like terms together. Commutative means we're going to move the terms around. So commutative means we are moving the terms around. So what exactly does that mean? Let's do the example. So let's go back up, and it says 3 times 10 to the third power times 7 times 10 to the fifth power. Your like terms here are your 3 and your 7. So you want to get your 3 times 7 together. And then you're going to times that with your scientific notation, which is 10 to the third times 10 to the fifth. So 10 to the third times 10 to the fifth. So you're grouping together your numbers and your scientific notation terms, and you're moving them around. Step 2 is you want to multiply your numbers. So step 2, we're going to multiply our numbers. Our numbers are 3 times 7. And 3 times 7 gives us 21. So we have 21 times, and then our scientific notation, 10 to the third times 10 to the fifth. Step 3 is we're going to add the exponents of the powers of 10. So we're going to add the exponents to the powers of 10. So we're going to add 3 plus 5. Because remember, when we multiply exponents with like bases, we add them. So remember our rule. Whenever we multiply exponents with like bases, we're going to add the exponents. So we're going to bring down the 21 times, and then you're going to add again 3 plus 5, which gives us 10. So now we have 21 times 10 to the 8th power. Step 4, we're going to convert the number into scientific notation. So remember, scientific notation is a number greater than 1 and less than 10. So we want to convert the number 21 into scientific notation. So what would that give us? It would give us 2.1 times 10 to the first power, because you are moving the decimal 1 spot to the left. And now we're going to times that by 10 to the 8th power. So this leads us to the last step, step 5. You want to simplify this, and we simplify this again by adding our exponents. So once again, we're going to add our exponents because we have the same base, so we add our exponents. Therefore, your final answer is 2.1 times 10 to the 9th power. And that is your answer. Let's do some more examples together. So let's look at number 1. We have 3 times 10 to the 8th power times 3. Your first step, you want to group your like terms together. So we have 3 times 3, because these are our numbers. And then we're going to times that by our scientific notation, which is 10 to the 8th power. Our next step is to multiply 3 times 3, which gives us 9. So you have 9 times 10 to the 8th power. Now, what do you notice here? We only have one number in scientific notation, so we keep it the same. And we also notice our number is between 1 and 10. Therefore, your final answer is 9 times 10 to the 8th power. You can also write 9.0. That is fine as well. So now to example 2. It says 3 times 10 to the 8th power times 3 times 10 to the 4th power. First step, get your like terms together. So we have 3 times 3 is our numbers, times our scientific notation, which is 10 to the 8th times 10 to the 4th. All right, next step, you want to multiply your numbers. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then you're going to times that by 10 to the 8th power times 10 to the 4th power. You want to add your exponents here. So 4 plus 8 is 12. So it gives you times 10 to the 12th power. Now you want to identify if 9's already in scientific notation, which it is. So therefore our answer is 9 times 10 to the 12th power. Let's look at example 3. It says 9 times 2 times 10 to the 5th power. So let's get our numbers together, which is 9 times 2. And our scientific notation, we just have times 10 to the 5th power. All right, so we're going to multiply 9 times 2, which gives us 18. And again, times 10 to the 5th power. So now you're going to ask yourself, is 18 in scientific notation? No, it's not. So you want to convert it into scientific notation. To do that, you're going to move the decimal 1 spot to the left. So we're going to rewrite it. 1.8 times 10 to the 1st power. And now we're going to multiply that by 10 to the 5th power. Okay, so our last step, you want to add your exponents because the 10s are like bases. So we have 1.8 times 10 to the 6th power because 1 plus 5 equals 6. And that's your final answer. So let's look at example 4. It says 7 times 10 to the 7th power times 5 times 10 to the negative 5th power. Again, we want to move around our numbers and scientific notation. So 7 and 5, bring them together. 7 times 5 times our scientific notation, which is 10 to the 7th power times 10 to the negative 5th power. Our next step, let's multiply. So it equals 35 times, and then our next step is to, we have like bases, so we want to add our exponents. So 7 plus a negative 5 gives us a positive 2. So 10 to the 2nd power. Next step, identify, is 35 already in scientific notation? No, it's not. It's not between 1 and 10. So let's rewrite it in scientific notation. We want to move the decimal 1 spot to the left. So we're going to rewrite it as 3.5 times 10 to the 1st power. And then we're going to times that by 10 to the 2nd power. And then our last step is to combine our exponents once more. 1 plus 2 equals 3. So that equals 3.5 times 10 to the 3rd power. And that's your final answer. Let's do one more example together using a word problem and multiplying scientific notation. So let's read number 5. It says, healthcare in 2010, the population in the United States will be about 3.09 times 10 to the 8th power. Spending for healthcare will be about $8,754 a person. But how much will the U.S. spend on healthcare in 2010? All right, so let's see what we're talking about here. We know that it costs $8,754 a person, and we know the population is about 3.09 times 10 to the 8th power. So we're going to multiply it. So let's write it out. We have 3.09 times 10 to the 8th, and we're going to times that by $8,754. So your first step, you want to get your numbers together. So that gives us 3.09 times 8,754. And then we're going to multiply that by our scientific notation, which is 10 to the 8th. Okay, our next step, we're going to multiply 3.09 times 8,754, and that's going to give us 27,049.86. And now we're going to times that by scientific notation, which is 10 to the 8th. Okay. Our next step, we want to change this into scientific notation. So we want to move the decimal over 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to give us 2.70496 times 10 to the 4th. And then you're going to multiply that by 10 to the 8th. Our last step, we have like bases. So we're going to add our exponents. So 4 plus 8 gives us 12. So now before we write this, if you look in the problem, it says about how much. So that's estimating. So we estimate this number, it's about 2.7. So our final answer is equal to 2.7 times 10 to the 12th power. And that is your answer. So now I'd like you to do is the you try section. Please complete problems 1, 2, and 3, and we'll discuss it in class. Notice in number 3, it's asking you for per minute and then per hour. So there's 2 answers to problem 3. Thank you.